Good morning, people. How are you? I'll turn this off so that I do not get a copyright strike. Cheers. It is Thursday, the 19th of October. I'm going to kind of ramble today like I usually do, but maybe even a little bit more. It is 7, almost 8 in the morning. So, just now I got online and took a quick tour of what's new, and I see that Paul McCartney is back out on tour again. And that really, I'm cleaning something here. Okay. I just woke up, and sometimes I think to myself, well, get yourself right before you get on camera, instead of just getting on here and just, oops, here I am. Whatever's going on is going on. But yeah. Yeah. So, talking to my family this morning, I'm frustrated for my older nephew Kareem. He just really has, So I'm just gonna do this because it's the least I can do. My oldest nephew Kareem, I think, is a younger brother too. Actually, both are looking for jobs. I'm in no position really to help being on Social Security, but I try to. It does frustrate me that whenever I seem to make a little extra, somebody needs it. But at the same time, it's a blessing that I can help. So, very honestly, what I'm saying is that if I can get any more sales this month of Interlude, I'll be sending that money to my nephew because he is in between. Well, apparently he started some new job, but it sounds pretty fishy to me, you know. But I'm not in California, so okay. Enough of my personal troubles, but again, that's what's going on with me. It's been interesting and really kind of heartwarming to see the outpouring of accolades for Carla Bley. And I knew she was important. It's good to see that reflected somewhat in the public domain, that, she was truly an important, groundbreaking musician. Um, I do say that, unfortunately, because of sexism, she and she didn't play that game, seemingly, with the entertainment industry, that she was often overlooked and underappreciated. I spent a good part of my listening day yesterday, when I was listening, because I had a life is intense right now. I had an emergency in my neighborhood again, but I listened to this all the way through a couple of times. People mentioned how much they love the track Lawns. That is a beautiful, beautiful track. Beautiful. Great composer, but also a great pianist. I was really, it was kind of like, isn't it a shame to think that it took Carla's passing to get me to to focus again. It's been a while since I've really listened to her music. she commanded respect from other musicians, and so the best wanted to work with her. And the reason is because she had a high standard that she herself could meet. When she plays solos, like the solos she plays on here, and in general, very soulful, not in a really over demonstrative way, but in a deep feeling kind of way. That every note that she plays is very meaningful. A great loss. Rest in peace, Carla. And then, on the opposite side of the coin, I listen to this all the way through. Just it's something that I like to do. Again, it's part of my fun of having these records and why I want to keep them. So I can just dip in and go back and listen to whatever. Roger Powell, who was with Todd Rundgren's Utopia, got to meet Roger Powell. I like to share that. Air Pocket, 1980 solo album. Cosmic Furnace was his first solo album. I do still have that. This is really good. He does. There's at least one song on here that is also done by Utopia, if I'm not mistaken. But synthesizer expert, and I understand in the early days of synthesis, he was a consultant for people, an expert. It's a good album. So here's one where it's like I needed to get to know it better. Praxis, Profanation. This is one of those Bill Laswell headed projects where he's able to get. I mean, if you can read that, it's just an absolute killer list of people to collaborate with. The results are mixed on here. It's actually a little bit of a mess at times. I like the cover, but it's also indicative of the music, where it's like they're almost throwing too much at you at different times. But the whole album isn't like that. The other thing is that when I put this on, there's no speed indication. So I listened to almost half of the first side on the wrong speed. And then I got it. Then I caught it. Oh, something else here. This is from the other day. I do like to watch Mike of the In Groove regularly. Today he'll have his weekly video for announcing new releases for tomorrow. I like that. He's kind of funny. But he showed his video a day or two ago where he was showing some new stuff in his collection. He likes to collect jazz. He was showing some Chet Baker and some Pacific Jazz records, and I was thinking to myself, I don't really have much on Pacific Jazz except this sampler, Assorted Flavors of Pacific Jazz, which is kind of cool, and this is what they used to do. Well, actually, they probably, I don't know if it still happens, but you would have labels put out samplers where part of the sampler would be just tracks, and then maybe the other side, like this one, would be narrated. So on this side we have banded tracks, Pacific Jazz label, and on this side it's narrated with a story about Pacific Jazz and example of cuts. This was fun to listen to because I had never listened to the narrated side, but it tells the story of why Pacific Jazz records even exist. Pretty cool. And a lot of times the backstory behind what's really going on, what has really happened, is different than what we think it is. Like, apparently Chet Baker's potential rise to stardom had a lot to do with that label, and also with the proliferation of the popularity of jazz. course, that doesn't really surprise me, as sex appeal, just, you can't get away from sex and sex appeal in everything. So the other thing I did yesterday, because I've been wanting to do it, is I've received over the years a lot of promotional music CDs from the Discus label. And I've been thinking to myself, how much have I gotten? How much, So as much as I could find, and again, that's an honest statement, because I still have a lot of stuff mainly compact discs in the closets, because I'm out of room. But I kind of wanted to see how much stuff have I received from the Discus label. I've received almost 60 titles from the label, and I just think it's a brave label. And I can do a quick review of one of the more recent things I got. Paul Dunmall, Bright Light, A Joyous Celebration. I listened to this all the way through, and really enjoyed this. It's modern jazz. If I could make a comparison, it's not exactly the way Blue Note did their thing, but it's like Blue Note in that the focus of the label is improvisation, modern expression, modern adult expression. Really not concerned with rock and roll. Rock music is almost a cult anymore. Hip hop completely replaced it as the sound of youth a while ago. So it's not that there's any, to me, there was no standout player on this. Excuse me, like, ooh, that guy's really soloing hard. No, what drew me in was by the third track, Disbelief, I was really noticing. I didn't read the little thing here, so there's probably some composition here, but there's also obviously improvisation. But it's like, it was just, oh, this is good. This shape that these folks are working with melodically, this is good. And I like the feel of this too. It's not all fiery, but it's not sleepy. And this is engaging. Paul Dunmall, and he is the leader, and he plays tenor and soprano saxophones. Good player, like I said, nothing too fiery. As I look here, I see, didn't even really put it together. I'm looking at this pile of Discus. I have this other release of his from 2021, Paul Dunmall Quintet, Yes Tomorrow. If you don't know the Discus label, this is quality music. And I'll say it again, quality adult music. I started to listen to this from the latest update from Discus. Uroboro, A Story Like Fire. And sure enough, this works. It does. I haven't read, the text about it. It's, it's important to me. It's like, if it's important to me whether or not the music can sustain. Is there anything there? Do I have to have background information in order for the music to work? A lot of times, my hope is that the music stands on its own. But background and information is also helpful and does increase appreciation of the works most of the time. So if I didn't complete my thought at the beginning of the video, I just wanted to say again how I'm really understanding and vibing with how our elders are just still at it. Paul McCartney is back out on the road. There's a video of him live last night somewhere. And that's what I was watching when I started the video. Hats off to him, kudos to him, and bless him. What else is there to do when you're this far along in life? You're in your 80s and you can still play. Do it. John McLaughlin, I thought a few years ago that he said he was going to retire because of arthritis and stop touring. That man is everywhere. Everywhere. And his inner presence, he shines when you see the pictures of him. He's so radiant with life. I love it. It's heartwarming. Along those lines, one of my other favorite guitarists, Steve Hackett, non-stop touring. And hopefully there will be no hitch to this. My good friend Frank, who I've had more contact with in these last couple of weeks than I have in a long time, called me and told me, hey, Steve Hackett's playing in Des Moines. He told me the date. It's in November. I said, get me a ticket. Let's go. That's not that far. And anyway, I just need to be okay with sitting in the car for a while. I got tired of it. That's supposed to be happening. I haven't seen Steve Hackett since the 80s, 70s, or 80s. And he is one of my favorite guitar players. And he impresses me with his, I'm just going to play and loving it, and it's his current wife, is her name Jill, really seems like they're a good team, that they work really well together. Seems anyway. So those are my thoughts this morning. That's the little bit of music I want to share with you. As I said on my Facebook page today, I hope that somehow you are less troubled today, because we are all burdened. It's pointless to speak about what they call the news, because there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing. So it just causes me angst to even think about all the death, all the blood money that's going on in this world. It never stops, and it's not gonna stop. So why? There's nothing I can do. Why even talk about it anymore? So, to get on a more positive tip, I'll leave the link. Also, I'd like to mention that RAF, I'm the primary, since we're not playing, I'm the primary source for getting the RAF album. They're still available. Reduced price down to $20. That money is for the band, okay? That's not me personal. So, like I said, if I get any sales today, quite specifically, if I can get any sales today or tomorrow, I'll be forwarding that money to my nephew Kareem, trying to help him as he's out there trying to keep his head above water. These messages I was just sharing with my family, because we do a group text. I said, sadly, Kareem's situation reminds me of our childhood. Frustrates me that it is such a struggle just to have the basics. And I won't read what he said, but he's frustrated. His mom, my older sister, she is always so optimistic, and in response to that, I'm just glad that I don't live in California. I don't. It just really seems like it's hard. The cost of living is so high, So yeah, yesterday I get a text from I'll share. I don't think I'm sharing too much. If I am, I don't think I am. A while back I shared with you that my neighbor across the street, ex-gang member, we've become friends. I've been living here over 30 years, so I've had many neighbors in the house that he lives in. It's a rental. Clyde Stubblefield, the drummer who was with James Brown and did some famous breaks, his family lived in that house for a while. They were nothing but trouble. Anyway, My neighbor texts me yesterday and asked me if I'm busy, and that's all it says. And I said, well, I'm on and off recording, and I wait for a response, nothing, so I call. I say, what's up? And he can barely talk, and and he's having he's in distress, needs to go to the emergency room, can't drive himself. That's when but I could hear in his voice, it's like he can barely breathe. So I went over and took him to the hospital. I hope he's okay. He's still there. But congestive heart problems is what he has. And oh man. So everyone has problems and burdens. His mom, he could barely talk to me in the car. He could barely get in the car because he's so big. Like his mom, he's way overweight. And that's what needs to happen if he's going to live, is lose weight. That's out of my hands. But could barely get in the car, could barely talk, And I was just thinking to myself, man, don't die in the damn car. Don't die on me. So, if you have any kindness in you to spare, please share it, okay? And please consider, if for no other reason, showing support for my channel and my people. This is really good music. It's not rock. You can call it background music if you want to. It's my music for living, so in that sense, it is true. It's music that I had to make because I wanted to hear it, and I wanted to do something. But if I can get any sales today or tomorrow, I'll be sending that money to my nephew out in California as he tries to make it day to day. Okay, people, take care. Have a good day.